Hello everyone, welcome back to Advain. In this lecture, we will be talking about access modifiers. In our previous lectures, we have taught about member functions. So let's start this lecture. C++ access modifiers. So the name suggests that access. It means that it will be allowing us to access the variables and the member functions of the class. Data hiding is an important feature of object-oriented programming, which allows preventing the functions of program to access directly to the class. There are three types of access modifiers: public, private, and protected. Each of them have different roles. Let me explain you using this diagram. So, you can see over here, the public is less restrictive, where the private is more restrictive. So, as I told you, each of them perform different role. In public, all the member functions and the variables can be accessed in the complete program. In private, you cannot access those member functions and private throughout the program. So let's start. Public access modifier. A public member are accessible from anywhere outside the class. As I told you that the public members are only accessible within the program. Okay, it means that the public members can only be accessed within a single program. So now let's move to code blocks so that I can show you an example of a public access modifier. So let's start coding. First of all, we will be creating a class having a name of line. Okay, we will be writing integer length. So means we will be finding a length over here. I will be creating, this is a variable. So I will be creating a function right now that will be allowing us to set. So set, I will be writing integer length. So this function will be helping us to set the length, and another I will be creating to get the length. So you can see the set over here is a keyword. So I cannot use this keyword as a function. So I will be writing something else like set L, and same get L over here. I will be writing void. Okay. So I have created one single variable and two member functions. Now I will be creating outside the class. I will be declaring the member functions. So it's simple. First of all, I will be writing integer name of the class. Using the scope resolution, I will be writing get length. Okay, and I will be passing the void. So in this I will be returning it to length. Return length. Okay. Similarly, I will be declaring the another function, that is void line, that is my class set len function, and then I will be writing the integer length over here. Similarly, inside this I will be writing that length is equal to len. Okay, so it will be storing the values, will be this value will be storing in length over here. You can see. Now I will be creating a main function, integer main function over here. Right, I will be using the class. I will be creating an object, that is, let's suppose that I am created an object L. So using the object, I will be calling the function set length, and I will be passing the arguments as 25. Okay, now I will be writing cout the length is. I will using the same object. I will be calling L dot get length function over here, and end of the line. Okay, now using the object, I will be changing the variable, like I will be directly calling the length variable. Length is equal to 10. Okay, I am accessing directly. Okay, so I will be writing cout the length is L dot length. Okay, length. Okay, then I will be writing end of the line over here. So I have completed my program right now. So I will be compiling and running the program. So we got an error over here. It is saying that integer line get length is private. Similarly, length is private. I cannot access that variable. Okay, it's saying within this content I cannot use. Why so? Because by default the class will be using the private access modifier. So you are not allowed to use this over here. So simply I will be just mentioning over here as public. Okay, so these variables over here now have become public. So I will be compiling and running the program right now. So you can see the program has been run because just using the public, this is a keyword over here. I have just mentioned the public. Outside the class, these variables or the object can directly access the public variables and the functions. Let's move to private access modifier. These member variables or a function cannot be accessed or even viewed from outside. So these variables and the functions, not even object can access these private members and functions. Okay, only class functions and friend functions can access these private members only. So the member functions of that similar classes or the variables can only access the functions and the variables of that private class or even the friend functions. If you don't know about friend function, we will be covering about the friend function in our upcoming lectures. No, all the member of classes would be private by default. As I told you that the class would be using private access modifier as default. Let's move to code blocks so that I can show you about how private access modifier works. So let's start again. I will be creating a class having a name of box. Okay. So I will be putting over here as public. I will be creating some variables, like I will be creating an integer length as public. Then I will be using void set width, which integer vid. Similarly, I will be creating integer get width. That will be helping us to get the variables. Okay. Similarly, I will be creating integer get width member function for getting the values of integer of the width. So I will be writing void over here. Okay. Now I will be creating a private over here, a private variable. So I will be writing private because if I write over here, if I will just write directly under this, it will get public. So I will be writing a private member function over here. Sorry, not a member function, a keyword. I will be creating an integer as width. Okay. So I have created a class. Okay. So in this class, I have created one variable and two functions that are public, and one is the width, that is a private. Okay. So now I will be declaring the member functions. So I will be using the class as box. Using the scope resolution, I will be setting the width. Set width, I will be calling the set width, and in which I will be writing integer width. Okay. So in this member function, I will be writing width is equal to vid. Okay. So now I will be creating a main class, that is integer main. So this is my main class. So okay. So I will be creating a object over here. Let's suppose that as b of a box b, and then through that object I will be calling the length over here, and I will be declaring as 10 over here. Okay. So I will be writing cout the length of the box is. I will be using the object. I will be writing b dot get width over here. No, sorry. I will be using length. Okay. Then end of the statement. Then I will be using box dot, I will be using the function set width to set the width value. I will be writing, let's suppose at 79, okay, or I can also use like this, b dot width at 79, okay, and I will write C out the length of the box, sorry, of the box is, I will be putting b dot width over here, and then I will be making it as of end of statement over here, okay. So now I will be compiling and running the program. So over here you can see that it is saying the expression cannot be used as a function, okay, because integer box width is private. So we need to access this thing. To access this thing, I will be using over here, I will be using set width at 79, and I will be over here, I will be putting the get width. So you got it, understand that why did I use this variables over here? Because this member functions over here are allowing us to use the private variable. Using the public one, we are accessing the private one. So now I will compile and run the program. Okay, so you can see I have created a mistake over here. So I just forgot to initialize this member function. So I will be initializing this member function as integer box, that is the name of my class. Using the scope resolution, I will be get width function. I will be passing as void over here, then I will be creating as, it will be return as vid, okay. So this was a mistake that I was getting over here. So I will be again compiling and running the program. So this was just a silly mistake. So yes, so you can see over here the length of the box is 10 and the length of the box is 79. In our previous, you saw that we were getting an error that I cannot get the access of set width directly to this private function. So to access this private variable, I will be using the public member functions to use that thing. So this is how we will be using the private access modifier works. Protected access modifier. The protected member variable or function is very similar to private member. So over here it is just similar to the private member. In our, like I have just told you, according to that diagram that I showed you in the starting, in which the protected was in between the public and the private. So it is very similar to the private member. One additional benefit that can be accessed in child classes, which are known as derived classes. So means in protected, the derived class or the child class can directly access the member functions of their parent class. Only class functions and friend functions can access private members, as I told you previously. So let's move to code blocks so that I can show you implementation of a protected access modifier. I will be creating a class as box right now. Similarly, okay, then I will be inside this, I will be writing protected keyword. Protected keyword, then I will be writing as integer width, okay. Similarly, I will be creating another child class, okay, like small box, and then I will be writing scopes. This is a syntax of writing, we can say, for declaring a child class. So the box is a parent class and small box is a child class over here. So in child class, I will be writing public keyword, and I will be writing as integer set width. I can write set width, okay. Similarly, I will be writing over here integer get width, and I will be writing void over here, okay. So now I will be declaring the member functions of the child class. So I will be writing integer small box scope resolution, then I will be writing get width. So in this I will be just returning the value of width as you can see, I haven't declared this width. This width comes from the parent class, which is a private or protected over here. So I am taking this width from the parent class, that is a box. Now I will be writing void small box. I will be writing set width function, in which I will be passing as integer width. Then I will be writing as width is equal to vid. Okay. Integer main function, I will be creating a main function in which I will be writing small box. I will be creating an object. Let's suppose I will be creating an object b. Using this object, I will be writing b as set width. Over here function I will be calling and putting the values as 7, 8. Okay. Then I will be writing cout as width of box. Sorry, I just forgot to put over here. Then let's put it over here. Then I will be writing over here as I will be using the object, that is b dot get width. Then end of the line. So let's compile and run the program. So you can see that the width of the box is 78. So the width variable was defined in the parent class, that was class box, and into the child class the variable integer width was not defined, so it got inherited from class box. So the child class can access the private functions or the protected functions from the parent class. Thank you. In our upcoming lectures, you will be studying about constructors and destructors.